Hey guys, my name's Ron. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Now today I'm doing something that is completely brand new. So today, essentially, the crux of what we are going to be doing is creating an entire artwork in just 3 hours. Now usually my artworks take between 4 and 5 hours to paint, but that is usually over the course of 3 days, when usually I am taking a break, getting a refresher, and then looking at the artwork with fresh eyes. But today I thought I'd try something new to challenge myself, and I am actually going to be creating this entire artwork from scratch. So I'm going to be doing the entire process except all in one go. So I am probably about 75% nervous, 25% excited, because I don't really know what's going to happen. But this should be, should be fun. Yeah, so I have high hopes for this project, but my expectations are probably not quite as high. This morning I actually have found myself a muse. It is this absolutely beautiful painting of a forest. I really love how the composition is not overly crowded, but it really draws attention to those textures, those wonderful leaves and the grassy textures, and also the girl is just beautiful. So without any more ado, let's start the 3-hour timer and then jump onto Google Images and see if we can find any more additional inspiration pictures to help build up some more ideas and see what we can do. So as I was looking through Google Images, the certain things that I was looking for was interesting roots as well as rock formations that could be included in my artwork, because I really wanted to emphasize the beauty of these natural forms. And because of this, I was looking through a lot of bonsai images because they are trained into quite interesting shapes. As for inspiration for the small character itself, I got an image of the small forest creatures from the movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which by the way is an awesome movie. So for my general greater idea, what I've thought that I really want to do, which really excites me, is depict a relationship between an adventurer character and a minuscule forest dweller style creature. So recently in a lot of my artworks I've been trying to show the bond between a large creature and maybe a person-sized creature, a person, and create a magical sense of scale and fantasy, and I'm definitely going to do that in this piece. However, at the moment I'm not quite sure what my forest creature is going to be. So yeah, we'll just see where we can go from here. I'm going to get into Sketchbook now and start to sketch up some ideas for my overall composition. So the subject and composition of my image was heavily inspired by our anchor picture and had a girl standing in the middle of a forest. So I knew I wanted trees on either side and our girl to be standing in sort of a clearing in the forest, looking down at a small house. The more difficult part of this process was actually working out the micro home thing where our tiny creature would be living. I wanted the house to be a bit more organic and flowing into the rock, as well as maybe having some more barky / leafy textures, but I wanted it to seem organic, as if it was growing out of the rock itself. Okay, so I'm now about half an hour into the project as a whole. I have just spent about 20 minutes going through some sketches, getting my overall composition down, and overall I have to say that at this stage I'm quite happy with the direction that this artwork is going. Now I'm going to start with the line work for the actual artwork. This is starting to get exciting. So before laying down my line work, I used a rough brush to insert some colour into the piece. The tree you see on the left is heavily inspired by this inspiration image and the really interesting shapes of the root itself in the bonsai plant. Okay, so now we're about 2 hours and 10 minutes, and it's just hitting me how little time there really is when I think about it. Because I have only just finished my rough sketch of the thing and we're almost 1/3 down. And looking at this, there's still a lot of areas which are still not defined to the degree that I want them. So I know that at the end of the day, some things are not going to be finished quite as well as I want to. I'm really going to have to prioritize. So I'm going to give the artwork its first colours, and then we're going to get into some more details and try to define all the areas of the artwork. Yeah, so that's what we can do. Yeah! Okay, so just under 2 hours left now. The place is starting to come together a little bit, but right now I have to do something that I'm putting off, and that is get this lady started. From experience, I know that if I leave it to the very end, it doesn't turn out looking very good, so I better start it now. Wish me luck. Okay, so our character is now done and she's looking alright. Yeah. Now I need to take the next 46 minutes and 20 seconds to try to make this artwork as defined as possible so that we're not in such a rush for the last hour. So for the next hour and a half of the project, pretty much I had a few moments when I was doing a bit of filming, but I forgot to turn the microphone on top of my camera on, and I didn't know that that would actually mean that the audio was muted, so I don't actually have anything for that. But anyway, the next hour and a half was pretty stressful because I knew that I wasn't going to get quite there, and there were a few moments at about 1 hour in that I thought that I truly might faceplant and the artwork would look like complete rubbish, but as they always do, once you get some more tones in there and separate light from dark values and that kind of thing, the artwork started to look alright. So one of the really interesting things that I actually learnt was regarding the use of desaturated colours. So in the original artwork, the colours around the trees are completely desaturated except for a few lighter areas of light brown. So when I originally was looking at these images, I would have said, oh, the entire tree is brown, but it's on a later inspection that you realise that most of the wood is actually completely desaturated. So during this artwork I actually realised that using these small hints of saturation amidst a mostly desaturated area can really allude to spots of light hitting the tree, and I guess show that the entire tree is a lighter brown colour in a different light, which I found fascinating. So it took me the first couple of hours in this process to actually realise that that was a thing, but after that point, I decided to incorporate it in whatever ways I could. Well, I'm finally done, and I'm exhausted and starving. I've had like half a box of shapes in the past 3 hours, so pretty much drew for 3 hours straight, but wow, that was incredible. So, oh wow, it's incredible. I'm so happy with this artwork. I love our little house, so cute. I'm tired. Yeah. But it was very rewarding and challenging, so I definitely think I'll have to try things like this again. Wow. So after the 3-hour challenge, I actually wasn't completely satisfied with this piece. So despite the fact that it's not really in the spirit of the challenge, I took this artwork back for about another hour and a half and just finished up on all of the areas that I wasn't quite happy with. So some of the things that I changed included cleaning up the branches and making them more angular, with many forming vector lines pointing into our focal point. Another thing I did was adding some more saturated regions to our tree to really bring out those colours amidst the desaturated shadowed areas, and adding some mossy areas to the trunk too. I also adjusted the positioning of our two characters so that the lady was actually looking down upon the small creature, and I made the house a little bigger so that it was more visible from a distance. And finally, I did some further detailing and skin tone adjustment to our female character, which I think really finished off the piece nicely. So I'm really happy with the final outcome, and I hope that you enjoyed coming on this little process with me. I need to go to bed after that. Anyway, Thanks for watching. See you next time.